This guided tutorial goes over how to use the TI-84 Plus calculator to create an equation that models data that's given to us. So this data is about either never watching television again or never accessing the internet again, and it's the percent of people that would choose that in a certain age group. Here's the age used to represent each of the categories, and here's the percent that selected those choices. And so I'm going to come over to the calculator. I'm going to click Stat. That's going to enable me to enter this information. In part A, it says let P be the percentage of people at A years who would eliminate watching television. Find an equation of a model to describe that data. So P is the percentage of people at A years. So A is my value here, or my independent variable, how old they are. My dependent variable will be the percent ended up watching television, or my P value. So I'm going to hit enter here. In list 1, I'll put my X values, 21, 29.5, 39.5. Get out your calculator and try this along with me. You can pause this as we go if you want to attempt to input these data values. And then I'm going to use my right arrow key right here to go to L2, and I'm going to put the percent watching television. And then I'm just going to do a quick glance to make sure I have 2172, 29.562, 39.553, 49.541, 59.539, 7022. Looks like my list is good. I'm going to hit the Stat button again, but now I want to do a calculation. I'm going to go over to Calc, and I'm going to choose the fourth option down. You can either type 4 or you can arrow down to 4 and click Enter. My X values will be in list 1. My Y values will be in list 2. My frequency list I don't change. My store I don't change. I just go down to Calculate and hit Enter. And it tells me that my A value, which is my slope because it's multiplied by X, remember Y equals mx plus b is this format. My slope is negative 0.959. And my B value is 91 point, something's wrong. The choices are approximate. So choose the equation closest to the model. Choose the correct answer below. So the one closest to the model is going to have a negative slope. This looks closest to the model to me. Negative 0.99. I've got that in 2 places, and then my y-intercept is 80 here and about 91 here, and that one's closer. Looks good. So don't let that scare you since it's approximate. Now I want to do the same thing, but with the percentage of people who would eliminate accessing the internet. So I'm going to go back to Stat. I hit Enter to see my lists. I'm going to right arrow over to list 3, and I'm going to enter these percentages, 30. I notice a lot fewer people are wanting to lose access to the internet. But it changes with age. That's very interesting. The older we are, the more likely we are to choose television as what we would want to give up. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to create a linear model, so I'm going to go to Stat Calc. I'm going to scroll down to Linear Regression. Oops. My X list is in L1, but my Y list is in L3. So L3, if you notice, is this dark blue above the number 3. So I hit the second button and the third button, and now L3. I want to make sure that the Y values are now the percentages of internet, not the percentages watching television. And then I toggle down to Calculate. And it looks like I get a slope of about 0.94 and a y-intercept of about 10. So it looks like this is my closest one, 0.98 and 9.42. Looks good. Again, these are estimates, and so my line estimates it. It's not perfect. I had to even estimate the middle years. Now it says use substitution or elimination to estimate at what age the percentage of people who would eliminate watching television equals the percentage of people who would eliminate accessing the internet. So we're going to go ahead and use these values here. We're going to click y equals, and in y1 we're going to type my first equation, which is negative 0.99. I'm going to use x instead of a, plus 91.21. I've entered my first equation. I hit enter and I go to the second, and it's blinking here, and I'm going to enter my second equation, which is 0.98x plus 9.42. Enter. I'm going to go ahead and graph those. Looks like my window is not set very well, so let's go to my window. My y-intercept here is 90. So I see that my x values run from 20 to 70. So let's make our x-min 20 and our x-max 75. And I see my y values run from 22 to 72 here, 30 to 78 here, but my y-intercept for this one was 91.21. So let's go from, for my y values, let's go from 0 all the way to 100 and see if that works. I want to be able to pick up that 91.21 right from right here. All right, so let's graph that. So there are my two lines. This is the value right here where they intersect, or where the percentage of those watching TV equals the percentage of those accessing the internet. And I'm going to use this second button and hit trace. That's going to get me my calc, and I would like to find where those two values intersect. So I go down to number 5 and hit enter. And it's going to ask me, is this the first curve you're talking about? And they list the line, and I say sure. And then they give the second one. If I have more than 2 on the screen, that's why they're asking me that. And then I make a guess, and so I'm going to toggle really close to that. There's my guess, and I hit enter. And they say the intersection point is at 41.51 and 50.10. So about 41.5 years old. It's about 50%. So let's see, at age, it says round to the nearest whole number. So that's going to be 42, because I have 41.51. And then it said, what is the percentage of people? And that's going to be round the final answer to the nearest integer. And so that's going to be about 50%. And that's it. We got it.